It wouldn't be like well, it hasn't been officially declared, but are we in a pandemic with the coronavirus? And what's your take on it?
I don't like alcohol.
No.
I did see a lot of memes with the alcohol corona drink in it, and one girl had a bottle up her vagina and bum and it said she had double the virus or something. It's hard to say because, you know, you don't want to badmouth China, but, you know, China's very secretive when it comes to lots of stuff, you know, and getting news out of China, they pretty much control what gets out. And when you see what people sometimes have said's going on over there to what they say, you know, it's hard to say. But, you know, I think, you know, the average flu, how many died from the flu in Australia this year? Because there was that new strain of the flu that killed quite a few, didn't it? Was that like a few hundred? Or
I was listening to the Ron Paul podcast this morning, and he said 41,000 people died from the flu last year in America.
41,000, yeah.
And like millions of cases, millions of doctor visits.
And did all these people have flu shots?
yeah. Well,
so there's a thing too, you see a lot of stuff going into how true it is, but then you see people putting up stuff where the coronavirus, they're showing patterns for it back in 2015, saying they have a vaccine for it back then. So it's just going to be the new thing that, you know, the flu shots, how many billions or trillions would the big pharma make when people get a flu shot every year? And then this year they had to get a different flu shot because there was a new strain.
Yeah.
So now if it becomes mandatory and they say, well, not mandatory, but if they say, hey, we've got this shot now that can stop the coronavirus, every person would be good to get it, they'll be making trillions of dollars again. It's like when you buy a computer and they say, do you want the antiviral software? And you go, nah. So someone like Norton or someone, they put a virus out there, oh, we've got the software that can get rid of this virus. So yeah, it's just weird that all of a sudden this just come out of nowhere. You know, it's like, reminds you back to the beginning when AIDS just suddenly popped up out of nowhere, didn't it? So,
yeah.
And then people are going back to an old, I heard on the radio, Dean Koontz, you know, the book writer.
Yeah.
He wrote a book back in the 80s and it was about a virus that came from the Wuhan province in China and stuff. They started to, and then someone's like, well, maybe we should watch The Simpsons. The Simpsons might have already had an episode on about this. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say if it's pandemic level because I don't think we know the truth. And then if it's true what they're saying, because they said you could have it for 2 weeks and show no signs, but yet even though you're not showing signs, you can pass it on.
Yeah.
But now they've said there's been a few people that didn't show signs for at least 30 days. So in that 30 days they've been going everywhere. So have they given it to other people? You don't know.
What I'm struggling with,
I don't even know how it kills you. How does it kill you? Do you just like,
do
you bleed internally or do you just...
no, well, that's what I want to know. Like, I just don't know. You know, there's been new viruses in the past, and like say SARS.
Wasn't Ebola? It sort of was a bad one where you'd bleed and your internal organs would do.
Well, that was 100% lethal.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Then you bleed out and stuff, and organs fail. So with corona, is it just like a bad flu and you just die from heat and your organs shut down, or what happens? They don't really explain. Do you go through agony or do you?
Well, this. You know, this is the thing, you're only hearing stuff like hearsay and rumours, but, you know, one of the Aussies, I think, on the cruise, when I heard this story, this was a long time ago, the daughter had it, and the mother assumed that she had it because she had a flu, real bad headache, real bad night, but then after that she was fine. So, you know, is it just like a case of the flu? You can sometimes get it, you know, mild. You can sometimes,
some people turn into pneumonia and die.
And then you die.
Yeah, like I said, I touch wood. I thought I was getting the flu last year. I got the sore throat and I could feel it coming on, but then I just took heaps of horseradish, vitamin C and garlic tablets and vitamin C and stuff, and it went away. But then I see other people that get it bad and they'll be knocked down for days in bed sick from the flu. So everyone's immune system's different, so maybe, like you said, maybe it is just like another bad thing of the flu that affects people differently. And some of the ones that have died too have there been younger people or older people that have other problems to begin with, like maybe they have asthma or respiratory problems to begin with, so when they get it, you know, because even elderly, the normal flu kills them a lot every year, so it's hard to say. Is this just another money-making thing coming along that...
Well, I was just going to say, depending on how lethal it is, like that's my question. Like, why is everyone so afraid of it?
Who made the fortune selling masks?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Why is everyone? Is it more lethal than they're making it out to be?
Or is it just really the same as the bad flu?
Yeah. That's all I'd like to know.
Because then in the media now, they jump onto any latest thing for scans. And I like the ones on the plane, everyone's got their masks on and shit, but I'm thinking, you're still touching stuff. You're not going to be 100% thing. And then I'm thinking on the plane, the whole time on the plane, you haven't lifted that up to get a sip of water or eat some food or something like that. So no, then they're saying a lot of things from China aren't coming in. So I'm like, well, what? If you get something from China delivered now, does the virus come on a box or how does it?
Well, apparently it can survive 2 weeks. But once again, like
is that in people, or is it like, say this box come from China?
Yeah.
And somebody who had it touched this packet here. So if I had the virus and I touch this, can the virus live on that, or does it die? Does it need to be in us to...
Or like a good solid oyster,
something. I don't know.
But yeah, look, it really is crazy. But if it is quite lethal, geez, what a weapon to unleash.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Has somebody...
Yeah.
They were saying that this factory in Wuhan was a place that they did biological type of stuff. So is this like accidentally release it, see how it goes for later on? Because any type of biological weapon like that, they talk about nukes and worrying about this and that, but
man,
look, if you had something that was so bad biologically and you gave it to we've seen all those TV movies and what Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman, and I think there's another one, Contagion, that had Matt Damon in. You just figure just one plane load of people. 300 people on the plane. If you infected all them somehow through the system, and now you got 300 people, 10 of them are getting off the plane, they're hopping on another plane to go to China. These 20 are hopping on a plane to go to America. Then once they get to America, 5 hop on more planes to go to different parts of America. So out of 300 people, within a week or more of this, say you had a real bad thing, you could infect millions within a week or two just from one plane load of people going off to different parts of the world, because you figure they're on the plane, so these 5 get on a new plane with 300 people, so now just with the air system, if it carries through that plane, now here's another plane of 300 infected, another plane of 300, another plane of 300, so with just 300 people going on the different planes, say like 30 of them, 10 groups of 30 hopped on 10 different planes, and they got 300 people on each plane, so now we've got 3,000 people, and it just keeps going and going. So a biological weapon would be the easiest way to start something up and get rid of it.
Oh yeah, for sure, and a big...
And you wouldn't even know it was happening, that's the thing. By the time it had spread from one plane load of people, and then like I said, you've got to track down all these people and where they've been and what planes they've been on, it's already gone, well, it's just...
One thing that adds to the how lethal it is the hospitals getting overrun. Like it can be X amount of is it lethality or whatever the word would be, but then that doubles when the hospitals are full, so you can't get proper treatment.
And there's only so many places in the hospital they could put you, because a contagion ward, they probably wouldn't have that many to seal off an area. Then then you got to think, they'd have to shut down air systems, because look at a plane, recycled air. Well, like you said, a cruise ship, everyone's stuck on that ship, and there's like, there's probably got an air system too through the ducts and stuff. But just people, even look how many cruise ships you'll see where sometimes 100 or 200 people will get a gastro just from being on a cruise ship, and they'll get like knocked down from that. So it can carry on. Then, like you said, they get off a plane, then they go somewhere else, and then say the family of 5 from that plane decide to go to a movie theatre that day or to a shopping mall, and then it just keeps spreading.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could, a big pandemic, I think if it was that bad, you'd never stop it once it left,
Yeah, well, that's what it's looking like now. The number of cases.
Because weren't they saying today on the radio that it was popping up in Russia and a
It's
couple of other
everywhere
countries now, and now they're even talking about maybe the Olympic Games that are going to be in July in Tokyo. They're not sure whether to... Because imagine how many people and athletes and tourists go to watch the Olympic Games.
Oh, look, it's the mind boggles of what's going to happen and how it's all going to, finish up. But
so if you don't want the coronavirus, my first tip I can tell you is don't go shopping in Chatswood.
No, well, they're like ghost towns now.
They would
There's
be.
lots of...
I didn't notice too many Chinese people walking around when I came in today.
No, like at Kingsford, there's a lot of Chinese people live there, and we were there Sunday morning.
Is Paddy's Market opened?
I'd imagine that'd be quiet.
What about Chinatown itself?
Yeah, I don't know. But
I think it's like one of those things. You can be careful, but it's like the flu. I think if it's out there and someone's got it, you're going to get it. Being overcautious, I don't really think, as long as you're not going to that place in China and stuff, but how do you know who has it around that you can't look? Unless you stay at home 24/7, you can't really...
Oh, but even using that as an example, like I could stay at home and just come to work, but one of the boys, he catches a train.
Mm-hmm. Maddie's down there at that bloody Asian massage parlour again.
Well, there's
Maddie's got other things to worry about more than corona.
But I don't even think the coronavirus would survive in
Maddie, no.
when the cocktail he's running.
He's chlamydia and shit and everything else would He's got other diseases that would kill the coronavirus.
The old Wuhan meat market's nothing like the back streets of Bangkok where he's butchering
or the back door of Maddie.
live game, wildlife.
You could take a culture swab from around his ring hole and you'd probably find a whole source of new disease. The men in black would be coming taking Maddie away as fucking hell. We've just found the new fucking biological weapon.
What saves us is
You've been around Maddie so long, you've built up antibodies to it.
They just can't survive off anything. But it's all one big happy colony, just feeding off each other.
So not one can get more further than the other.
It's like a battle royale of diseases. And
Maddie's arsehole is like a petri dish. As soon as one disease gets too big, the other one eats it. Then the other one.
The other ones are ganging up.
Yeah. We're all got to stay together, guys. If any of us kill Maddie, then we miss out. The party's over.
So that's the...
Yeah, but it's hard to say because the news reports are conflicting. Then you've got the conspiracy theorists online showing different stuff of patterns and when it was made and saying people have antibodies. Antidotes already been made for it, so they're just waiting. So who knows?
Well, I've got a good question for you.
But I wouldn't put it past them because when you look back at these things that have come out now, remember like Ultra MK, whatever it was, when the CIA was doing all those mind ordering drugs on people. There was another one in some town overseas where the CIA put something in the water. And 200 people committed suicide jumping out of windows and shit. So I wouldn't put nothing past government. So not sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but let's just say the governments do a lot of shit that you wouldn't put it past. There's even a town in America where they did something and tested some shit on people. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past them at all. You see it in the movies and people go, oh, that's just the movies, it's far-fetched. Generally movies get ideas from somewhere and it's come from something that, So no, I wouldn't put it past any government of any country to test on their people. Well, we know they test on their people, even the Manchurian candidate and stuff like that, we know. There's actually a new documentary, I've got to watch it, I think it's a 3 or 4 part on Netflix. Remember the Unabomber?
Yeah.
And it's in his words, his story.
Yeah,
about how he was trained by the CIA to be a special agent.
Oh, is it from him? Because there was one about...
Yeah, no,
about
this is
it.
actually him. It says in his words and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was being trained to be a secret, like a special agent for the CIA, and I guess like that mind shit, and I guess shit went wrong.
No, they were pumping him full of LSD and stuff like that.
Yeah, but their plan didn't work, did it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, it's, like I said, I wouldn't put it past any government to do whatever. And like I said, we have governments, yes, but when you look at, when you go back to the big families, the Rothschilds, the Soros, everything like this, Soros, whatever you want to call them, and all them, pretty much all those people and big farmers run the government, so
Yeah.
what can you do?